Okay, very brief introduction to our third unit of work, living spaces. Really just trying to get to grips with what makes a living space, what makes a living space good, what makes a living space bad. Okay, so hence why we start with this simple exercise here, identifying the sort of things that make people want to live in each place. So we can highlight things in this photo here, for instance the transport links, the housing looks relatively new, for instance. Here the housing looks the area looks quite safe, quite low crime rates, quite possibly. Car parking, the housing itself looks very well kept. So there's a whole number of reasons why certain people live in certain places, why certain places are what we call living places. So every single one of us has some form of place attachment. What does place attachment mean? Well, it's the ways that we are attached to certain areas and certain places, and that can be broken down again into two subcategories. You can have emotional attachments, you can have a functional attachment. So an emotional attachment to a place, for instance, could be family, history. A functional attachment, on the other hand, could be that it's close to work, it's close to transport links, it's easier for you to live your life. Okay, so functional attachments, emotional attachments, both of them though come under the umbrella term place attachment. Very important key term for this unit. So what makes a good living space? What makes a place good to live in? These various things here. Now this survey is, well, it's nearly 10 years old, unfortunately. I'll try and get some more up-to-date statistics for the lesson, but I can't imagine that the key things would be that much different. Right up at the top there, low level of crime, according to this survey, is the main thing that makes a place good to live in. Health services, GPs, hospitals, things like that. Affordable, decent housing, shopping facilities, supermarkets, smaller shops, corner shops. Public transport could be tram stops, could be train stations, could be bus stops. Educational provision, secondary schools, primary schools, nurseries. All those things there, a lot of them really quite obvious. And by some studies, by one survey that was done a few years ago, here's some images of a place just outside Birmingham called Bournville, and apparently, according to some studies, it is one of the best places to live in the UK. Now, here's a bigger list of places to live in the UK. According to a BBC survey, the best places to live in the UK, top 10. There is a pattern to these places, and because I'm recording this before we've done the actual lesson, I'm not going to give away that pattern because we need to do a little bit of map work to find it out. But there is a very discernible pattern to these places. Best places to live in the UK, we'll find out about that next lesson. And then, of course, go back over your own work, this own exercise that we're going to do at the end of this lesson, about a mental map of a place that you consider to be one of the best places that you've visited or the best places that you've lived. And think of the key reasons from a personal angle about why that is. Okay, what's one thing about it that's particularly special? What don't you like about this place? How could the place be improved? So, short introduction to the unit of living spaces.